Now I am going to work with something in controller. Then you will understand how to work with controller. In the last lecture, you saw that I created a controller using this command, and this is my controller, that is home controller. Now I am going to my route, and instead of using the anonymous function here, I am going to use the controller now. So here I will have to call the controller name, that is home controller, and there is a class and the second parameter. Remember that in the get, instead of anonymous function, I am going to call an array, and it has two parameters. One is home controller class and another one is the method name. So in the home controller, here you see that in the home controller I created a function or method, that is index, and that function name I will have to call here index. So this is the basic syntax here, and if I hit the route now, home route, it will go to the home controller and call the index function. But here this home controller I will have to define in the top and tell that use, then app, http, then where is controller, you see that our controller is in app http controllers folder. So here I will have to call controllers, and then I will have to give my controller name, that is home controller. If I call it here, now there is no error. Okay, it should work. So I am going to close this on terminal. Okay, now check the route. Now in the route I am going to hit, you see that there is nothing, because in the blade file home there is actually nothing here. Here if I use the echo test, now if I go here refresh, you see that the test is showing here. Now I will return the view in this location, that is return view. And what we did in the case of anonymous function, the same thing I will call in the controller method. So return view home, that means when I will hit this controller, it will come here and this home view will be returned. That means in the views I am now going to create a home.blade.php. So in the home.blade.php I am going to call home page, and here home page content. Okay, so it should work now. I am going here, refresh, you see that it is working. So this is actually the standard method, and we will work everything using the controller now. So this is the basic. If you want to pass some parameter into the view, that is also very easy. Just here write a parameter, for example my name Murshidul Arifin, and then I can easily pass the parameter here using the compact. You already know everything like that. That is, here I am going to call the name. So here I am going and refresh, and this is showing. So everything will work here now. Also, if you want, you can easily use the name route, that is into the get. If you want, you can, here it will be name, and here you can call it a name, for example front end home. So front home. So using the anchor tag and the route function, you can easily call this in order to go from one page to another. You already know all the things about this, because I have discussed very well about the route, about the blade, about the view, etc. Just in this lecture my concern is to discuss with the controller, so I am discussing you about the controller methods and controller. In a single controller, if you want, you can use multiple methods. For example, public function. Instead of creating about controller, you can also create a function here about. For example, there is another view, that is about .blade.php. This is, for example, my about page. So here about page. This about view, how I can call, just I am going to copy this, paste it here. In the same controller I can do it. This is about, and the method name here is now about. I am not going to give it here because I am not working with this type of things right now. So home controller about method, that means it will come here and it will call this. So I am going to return the about now. So about view I am going to return. Now if I go to home, this is home, and if I go to about, this is about, and it is showing the about page without any problem. So in this way you can do that. Or alternately, if you want that I will create a separate controller that will be about controller, then you can also create about controller, and in this way you will have to call here the about controller. This is the route, and your controller name will be in that case different, and that will be about controller. And then you can also define the index function, and you can call that about controller index function. So that route will work in that time. So in this way you can show a view into all the views in the same controller, or if you want to create different controllers for different view, you can also do that. But it actually depends on your requirements, how you actually want to do that. Now if you want to pass the parameter here, how you can do that? For example, in the about I am going to pass a parameter, for example the person, or here username, right? So if you want to pass something like that, where it will be taken, when you call it, then it will come actually into the home controller about function. So in the home controller about function, here you will have to receive that is the username, and here you can pass it to the view, that is username, right? Now what I can do in the about, I am going to show the username here, that is username. Now if I want, I can do that refin array merge here compact. Actually not like this, I will have to use the compact, sorry. So now it will work. I am going here, refresh, you see that it is coming. If I change the name like this, enter, you see that it is working. So instead of the anonymous function, what we did in the case of function in before, so the same thing I will work with the function, that is this function about. That means here you will work like that. So I hope you have understood about the basic of controller, and now you can work with this perfectly.